In the last videos, we have built the UI for our signing form, and our next goal is to be able to read the email and password that we can type in and use them to sign in with Firebase. So let's see how we can do that. First of all, I'm going to add a new method, which is going to be a void underscore submit method. And I'm going to call this method on the onPressed callback of my signing button, just like this. Next, let's work out how we can print the email and password. And to do this, we need to learn a little bit more about how text field works. So let me open up a diagram. And over here, I have a box that represents a text field. And this is what we use to let the user enter the text. In addition to this, there are a number of callbacks that we could use to check when the text changes or is submitted. And just so that I can show you how this works, I could get back to Android Studio, and over here we could add an onChanged callback which takes a value, and here we could print that value like this. So here, if I hot reload and I open up my console, I can start typing in test@test.com, and you can see that every time that the input changes, then I get a new line on the console. So if we wanted, over here we could declare a string email variable, and we could use this callback to set the email value like this. And we could also do the same for our password field, and at this stage we could go into the submit button and just print the email like this. So this will probably work, and if I tap on the signing button, I can see that my email is printed over here. However, there is a better way to retrieve the text of a text field that doesn't require to store additional variables, and that is by using a new class which is called a TextEditingController. And a TextEditingController is used to control the text that is being edited. So at this stage we can open up the documentation for text field, and if we tap through this controller class, we can see that it is a TextEditingController instance, and it controls the text being edited, and it says if null, this widget will create its own text editing controller. In other words, every time we create a text field, then Flutter automatically creates a corresponding text editing controller. And if we want, we can supply our own text editing controller. And this is what we are going to do next, because it will give us an easy way of retrieving the email and password values. So in our email signing form, we're going to the top here, and then we're going to add a final text editing controller underscore email controller equals text editing controller like this. We're going to delete the string email variable because we no longer need it, and we're going to remove it from here, and we're also going to remove the onChanged callback. And to the text field, we're going to add a controller property, and here we pass the email controller. And then we're going to do the same thing for our password field. So final text editing controller password controller equals text editing controller like this, and here we can pass it on as well like this. And then in our submit method we can now print, and then we can type email colon, and here I'm going to use string interpolation and say email controller.text, and then password colon, and again interpolation password controller.text like this. And at this stage I can hot reload, and now I can type in an email such as test@test.com, and if I tap on the sign in button, then I can see that Flutter prints the email correctly. And then I could try to select the password field, and I can see that something unexpected happens because the email field has just been cleared out. So this is not great, and the reason it happens seems to be that we have declared our signing form as a stateless widget. And I've already verified beforehand that if I turn this class into a stateful widget, then it will work correctly. So let's fix that in the next video.